Episode 2.
We're back, baby.
We made it back.
I can't
We're here again.
Yeah, like you wanted more. We're giving you more. The people wanted more.
The people wanted more. And who are we to deny the people?
The people were asking for more, and
here
we are bringing them more.
So welcome back to Girl.
Everything's fine.
How fine are we?
Fine.
How's your level of fine?
I would say like I feel fine because I'm hyped about this.
Okay.
Like, so I'm like, okay,
Great.
I feel fine. But like if I'm actually talking about how fine I am.
Yeah. How's your week fine?
My week fine. Oh God. Honestly, week is like crazy. I feel like as we talked about last week, the like come down from like the summer to fall, whatever. I just feel like that craziness is still lingering. Like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Like so much. And then like, I don't know, in the air, like Mercury, lunar, whatever, you know, that stuff.
Like whichever planet
yeah,
is fucking
like
around this month. Yeah.
Right. Like there's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels, yeah, I don't know, a little cray, but I feel like I've been on my like fitness routine. I've been on my eating, like cooking at home, which is like not great for me, but like I've been doing it. So I feel
Because
like
you're inconsistent or because you suck at cooking?
I suck at cooking.
Okay.
I'm
Is
getting
Darius
better.
a good cook?
No.
Okay. So you're both
Darius is
fucked.
like, you know how someone's like, and just a dash of salt. Darius is like, is it a teaspoon, a tablespoon, like a full cup? Like how much salt am I putting in?
He can't just.
No. And
Okay.
I'm like, let me
Right.
just throw some shit together and see if it works. Luckily, he doesn't have any taste. So I feel like literally.
Luckily, he's lost one of his major senses.
Literally, he thinks everything I make is amazing. So it's great.
Great guy.
But yeah, like other than that, I feel just like a little bit of crazy, but fine. How are you doing?
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I have yet to feel the wrath of the seasonal transition, I think.
You're still thriving in the
I'm
summer.
still thriving. Yeah.
Got it. So she's
Also
really doing well.
I've never been better. Also, I've upon this journey that we've been on with me looking at myself in the camera all the time, I've realized that I do nothing but constantly touch my hair, and it's because I'm insecure about my male pattern baldness. So, like so much so that I'm thinking about booking a flight to Turkey. So
Why? What did they do in Turkey?
you can get like a hair transplant there.
Girl, you don't need a hair transplant. You do not need a hair transplant. Like,
Well, that's like my latest ick about myself. You know, you have like an ick about yourself.
Yes.
It's my fucking. Constantly touching this hair.
here's
but-
what I do. I go like this. I push it back, and then I push it forward. So it's like a little like.
It's all an
But
illusion.
like, look how much better it looks. Like I'm staring at myself, but like.
But then you can't move. This is what people don't. This is the
I
shit
don't
that
want my
nobody's
face
fucking
to
talking
move
about.
either.
This is the shit that's nobody's talking about. You take pictures of yourself and you like. My hair, I swear to God, when I look in the mirror, does not look this bad. Like it doesn't look this thin and this flat.
Pictures are so different.
You know?
So different.
And that's why everyone has to edit their photos because that is not what I looked like when I took this photo.
But you know what? Facetune, I've used less of. Filters, I've used more of.
Okay. Yeah.
You let me put the extra hair in my hair.
Yeah, no, I'm that bitch. Let me tell you something. This is a trade secret. This is a trade secret here because this is the uncensored truth. If you see a photo of me on the internet and you're like, damn, her hair looks good today.
Her hair.
It's been edited. It's been
I don't
edited.
edit my hair.
That's like the only thing I edit. I'm like, how do I make this hair look thicker? So much so I've bamboozled you all so hard that my hairstylist has given me hype on like how like it's as if I'm not in her DMs every single day of the week being like, please, do we need layers? Is it extensions? I'm balding. And she's
You're
like,
not balding.
it's okay. Here's the thing. It's very thin. It's very thin. I have thin hair, which I've always had. And I think from years of pulling it back like this,
Yes.
it's thinner through here. The other thing is it's so long right now that it's heavy. And I think it's just like it's
weighing it down.
It's weighing it down.
Yeah.
So I need to do something, in which I've harassed her about 37,000 times. She's the most lovely human that ever lived. But I think she's like, please stop, like consult a therapist instead of me in my DMs all the time.
You know what though? I have curly hair. So like curly hair. Did you not
You have
know
curly
that?
hair?
Girl, I have ringlet curls.
No.
Like literal ringlet curls to the point that my ex-boyfriend was like, you kind of look like Weird Al with curly hair. Never, like literally.
No. Did you dump him immediately on the spot?
No. But
Trauma.
for a later day. But I was like, now when I look at myself with curly hair, I feel like I either look like a 7-year-old child or Weird Al.
If a man told me that I looked like Weird Al, like Yankovic, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I would have thrown myself off a balcony.
I literally was like, wow, okay, I've got some like work to do. Like, do I get a nose job? Like, do I like whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about like trauma that lives with you.
Because you got the Jewish nose thing. Is that what you're talking? Yeah.
Yes. I've got the Jewish nose, curly hair, like straight up.
I don't think I've ever seen you with your.
Because I don't wear it curly.
Because he ruined this for you. We need to put this
to rest. Like, shout out to Kimmy Chris because she was like, girl, we're going to wear our hair curly. And I was like, maybe.
We're going to detach. We're going to somehow detach from that experience that you had. And we're going to get you some.
Are you going to therapize me?
Yeah. I'm
on
not
the pod?
qualified at all. But I'm going to certainly try.
Yeah, no, that's
so fucked up.
Literally lived with me.
What's wrong with men?
But I get it about the hair. Like, hair insecurities
are
real.
So how long does it take you to get your hair
Not long.
current?
I am
really?
on Dyson. Amazing. The Dyson blow dryer. Love it.
Does it for you, huh?
It like, I use the brush with it. And so I like brush my hair. And then it's like a little bit poofy. Quick straighten and I'm done. And I don't wash my hair often.
Okay.
But I get with the longness of the hair that it does feel heavier.
It makes it flat. And I'm
just
like,
flatter.
And also I feel like I have like, if you're know me or friends with me, like I do nothing but talk about this satellite dish of a forehead that I have.
No, I have a big forehead too.
I think you have a little forehead.
No, I have a big forehead. Like it starts really far back. Like my hairline starts really far back.
Well, so then it's not that you have a big forehead. I think it's that you have a
far hairline. So you're balding and I have a receding hairline?
I'm balding and I have a giant forehead. Say something nice about yourself.
I'm beautiful.
Okay.
I was like, all right. Anyways. So we talked about how fine we are, and then we really got into how fine we are.
We actually are, yeah. We thought we were. I was like, everything's fine. Great. No.
Everything is fine.
Man, self-love.
She's
a tough one.
She is a beast.
Yeah.
Bitch is like, some days I love myself, and other days like, do you? How you doing?
Yeah, I see. These days I feel I'm falling on me more often. Like, do you?
No, it's hard. It's hard out there.
I go in and out, but right now, less so than my past. I think I'm on the rise.
Oh,
for
same.
Sure.
I'm definitely in this like, okay, I feel I did testing with where we work, and I was like, wow, I'm a 9 out of 10 for inflammation. So I'm like, dude, I'm inflamed. Like, what do I do on that journey now to figure out like what's actually going on in my body, whatever. But I'm like, I'm now trying to discover like what's going on. Like not only like in here and whatever, but like in here. Like what's this actually going on? Because I'm not feeling like great. So there's definitely something that's like, okay, if I felt better, like wasn't as fatigued, more energy, whatever, would I love myself more? I don't think it's like an if X, then Y. Yeah. I think it's like a journey to it.
100%.
But we're fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Let's talk about some fitness.
Yeah. Today's episode brought to you by 2 fitness instructors. Us.
One a little less experienced than the other. But
how long have you been teaching?
A year.
Really?
Exactly just a year. Yeah.
And why cycling?
Okay.
Which is funny because, side note, I started with cycling.
Really? As an instructor?
Yeah, but start with you and then I'll go into it.
How did we? She's been holding out all this information just for the content, honestly. Okay, why cycling? So I guess back when I started like my group fitness as a student days, it just was my favorite thing to do. I was never a sports girly in high school. I was a dancer.
Me too.
Yeah. See, I think a lot of us fitness people, instructors have this in common.
Because we can count to the beat, the 5,
yes,
6, 7,
and that
8.
is, and I will tell you, I've learned this, and also I've been taught this, told this by people who have trained me, that if you cannot find an 8 count, it's not something you can be taught.
No.
You can be taught form, you can be taught format, you can be taught all kinds of stuff in fitness, but like if you can't hear an 8 count, you can't hear an 8 count.
When an instructor doesn't count like, and we're in 4, in 3, in 2, and I'm like, where are you count? Like, what is this count? You're like, not anywhere with the music. Yeah. Like, you're not counting with the music. And I'm like, I have to remember it's not a beat-based class. But in my mind, I'm like, whew.
You're like, yes, where's the next?
I'm like, at least the countdown, do it with the beat.
Yeah. Yeah. So because I had like the dance background, I don't know. I started I couldn't even like tell you when I started cycling, honestly. It was I had to, when I started
like the
my
Soul Cycle days, when
even
they were,
before,
like, really
but still,
big.
I'm from upstate New York where we have absolutely no jazz at all. Like there's no Soul Cycle, there's
no Flywheel when Flywheel was the thing.
no, there's no Sweet Green, there's no like any of this luxury that you people that
God.
grew up in a city,
How do you
big city.
live?
I was suffering.
Deprived.
I didn't know that I was suffering until I knew that I was suffering. So I started with just regular, like not beat-based cycle, because there's a couple varieties of cycle, right? But beat-based means that like you don't pay so much attention to metrics, you ride on the beat of the music. And then I got into like trying out different studios. So we do have a couple boutique studios in Rochester, though. Rochester, New York became something around the time I was in my 20s, though. It wasn't like, it wasn't a thing that existed.
I mean, Soul Cycle was like the teens, like 2010, right? It's when they blossomed.
Yeah, I guess we were behind. So whatever was popping out here in the cities, like it was not what we were doing. So we had a couple boutique studios, so I started getting into it then, and it just was like, I also, when I started my fitness journey, lived in the world where most people live, where they think they have to do high intensity cardio
all the time,
6 days a week to be in shape. And that's actually, I will stand on that hill and die that it's not. And the best thing you can do is actually weight train, blah, blah, blah. We'll get there. But I just like, it was the most fun. And also I think I'm a big music person.
Yeah.
I'm a big
music makes or breaks a class.
Oh,
and I'm all about everybody.
God.
Like, if you love rock and roll, go for it. But don't try to be everything for everybody. You know what I mean?
And you will never come to a class of mine and listen to like Metallica. Or like,
I have played a Taylor Swift, even though she's not my fave, but I have played her.
I know we share that in common. So okay, let's just clarify before they come for us, the Swifties.
Okay,
I like the girl and everything that she stands for.
She does good stuff.
Her latest album, I'm on board. She did something with that, but I'm not a diehard.
No, me either. I will say my boyfriend is, and so he took me to a concert. She puts on a great show.
Oh,
I love that she takes care of her staff and her team, and she donates to charity. Like, girl, we love you for that.
She's an icon.
I'm just not like gonna die on a sword for her.
Right.
Or like
specifically
pay
her
$1
music.
gajillion.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. And
same.
Which is wild because there's
not,
few and far between of us.
Who are you obsessed with music? Like, do you have anybody that you're like, oh my God, I would like die for
Lana
them?
Del Rey.
Really?
Lana Del Rey.
I don't know. I think like maybe
I
Kygo
die right
for
now.
me, but like not like because of anything. I just like love to jump up and down to his music.
Yeah. No. Oh my God, I'm a big Kygo fan as well. But no, I live, die, breathe Lana Del Rey, which is also I think a controversial thing because everyone's like her music's too slow, and I'm like, you don't understand what she's saying in her like I like take off
Do you
about
put
it.
a remix on in your classes?
I have a couple of
Okay.
but honestly, like it's hard. You can't do a Lana song dirty, and if the mix isn't
right, you got to be right.
Yeah,
but how often do you just like listen to a song and you're like, okay? Like I remember when I was training for cycling, and I was like, okay, in the car, I was like, we pick up our pace in 4, in 3, in 2, and the beat drops and you pick up your pace.
No, I do it all the time. I'll be out somewhere, I'll Shazam a song because I'm like, oh, that's tap
a hill ride.
That's
or
a hill.
That's,
no, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But anyways, because I was a big music person and I was constantly doing this like high intensity cardio, I don't know, I just loved it. And I think again, like the instructors that I was drawn to a certain instructor and a certain type of music, and that made me love it more. So when I came here to Chicago, actually, it was literally around this time. Well, I was here all summer, but around this time last year, I had gone to the current studio that I work at now. It's called Salt. It took me a while here to find a studio that I really loved their style of like beat driven. I also like the lights. I like the whole production, right? So I had taken a couple classes like all around the city, and then I went there. And I'm also a firm believer on the cycle bike. This is no hate, no shade to Soul Cycle or any of that jazz, but like a lot of those modalities are super choreographed. Mm-hmm. And I'm a firm believer that everything that you do on that bike should have a purpose. So if you're dropping an elbow, it better be an engaged tricep. I'm not like this. You will not come to my, and I'm a dancer, right? Like that's my background. But if we're not training a muscle group, I don't do it.
It is like when you're in a sculpt class and they throw in mountain climbers and you're like, what the fuck is the
How
purpose
did we
of
get
that?
here? Yeah.
But you're like, there's absolutely no purpose. Your purpose is to just make it hard.
Right. And that's kind of where, I don't know, that's just my belief. And when I started going there, the girl who ended up actually training me, that was totally her thing. She's like, we're not doing anything in this room that's like a cardio dancey dance movement just because.
Yeah.
So then I slid into so many fitness instructor DMs in this city being like, I have no actual training. I have no certifications. I don't have any of this jazz. But I got the personality. I think I can swing it. Like, would you want to, like, can I at least just come audition?
Yeah.
Just hear me, like. And luckily at the time when I had reached out, Salt was going to do like a training soon. So my friend Tatiana, shout out. She gave me my in. But she was like, yeah, come on in. She was my friend at the time. But she was like, yeah, come on in. I'm actually hosting an audition thing, yada, yada. And I just kind of got on the bike and she was like, you can count an 8 count. You look good. I have minor notes. Like, come on in.
Let's
so
go.
then I did like very light training, I would say.
Yeah.
And then I kind of taught myself and now here I am.
With
all this
Cycle.
time later with Cycle. It's a lot, I will say, to teach.
I props to every Cycle instructor out there.
Yeah.
It's
a
hard
lot
as fuck.
And right now, like, it's fitness stuff for me right now is more something I just do for fun. It's not like a full-time career for me, obviously. And so one class a week, love that for me. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Like, like last week I taught 4 times. Like, it just depends on the week. Sometimes it's once, sometimes it's, all over the place. But it's a lot to ride on that bike. And especially when you're like, you don't realize, you think you're fit until you get on that bike and then you try to talk for 45 minutes.
You're not just talking. It's not like, great job. It's like you're screaming, you're keeping the energy up because the energy you create, people feel.
Yeah. And that's just me also as an instructor too. I think that's another thing that drew me to Cycle is like, I'm a high intensity, high energy, like hype girl.
Yeah.
So it's not that I like don't enjoy bar or yoga or stuff, but I am like a bring the heat type of girl, move your fucking ass. And that's not like, you don't want to be in yoga with someone being like,
you never know, girl.
Get off the hill.
I started where you were.
Yeah, true.
So I worked for Equinox in New York. I did their marketing. And I was like, girl,
how long ago was this though?
This was 2016. I moved here in 2016.
Okay.
In 2016, I was like, I work for Equinox. Like, this is amazing. I want to be a Soul Cycle instructor because Equinox owns Soul Cycle. And I'm like, I'm going to be a Soul Cycle instructor. Like, fuck yes. So I like.
Aren't we all though?
Yeah. Like, I literally was like,
I'm going to be a Soul Cycle instructor.
Yes. Like, I was like, this is what I want to do. Mind you, didn't cycle. Didn't even like cycling. I was a runner at this point. But I'm like, I'm going to be a Soul Cycle instructor. So I end up 2017 moving home to Chicago, and Equinox does their own like mentorship program. So in New York, I did Schwinn training, and then in Chicago, I did a like mentorship, like Cycle mentorship program. I auditioned, and they were like, "You need to like go teach at other studios, go around, and then come back and audition for us." And I was like, F this.
Damn, yeah.
Like, I know I'm amazing. Mind you, I hadn't taught at all. But I like, you think you're amazing.
But again, the delusion.
Yes.
The delusion is what drives success. I don't care what anybody says.
So I was like, I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to do yoga training to help my Cycle training. Like, literally, that was the purpose. Like, I'm going to yoga training, get my 200-hour to help my Cycle training. I fell in love more and more with yoga. I was already doing yoga, like did yoga in college, did yoga after, whatever. But I never thought I wanted to teach it because I wasn't super woo-woo and I wasn't super like as I said in episode 1, like I'm a cheerleader. I'm like rah-rah. Yeah. And so like to have to like calm yourself and ground yourself, which became obviously like very useful for me and amazing. I was like, I did that. And then from there, 2017, that was it. Like I was a yoga teacher. I did sculpt training, and then during the pandemic I did bar training, and then I was like, I'm hooked. And I like would love to teach full time, not Cycle, because you're doing the workout with them. Like, that's a lot.
Also, I'm a crazy person, and I'm like, this is my workout too. So
I agree.
Because I've had people hop on my bike. When we've done photo shoots and stuff, when you're just supposed to be like making it look like you're riding the bike. And I've had my friend Demi get on a bike after me and be like, bitch, what are you doing with this resistance? Like, we're just shooting a shoot. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I have to like
in my bar classes, I have to like I do the class so that they can see, and then I'll obviously like go around and be like, let's tweak your format, whatever, or your form. But I'm also like, yeah, this is like my workout. But in yoga, I'm like, I'm looking at you. Like, I'm reading the room for bodies. I mean, in any class, you got to read the room. If everybody's like struggling with what you're doing, you're like, all right, let's tone it back or whatever. And you got to be able to like adjust on the fly. But I always look at cycling and I'm like, damn, I'm like, you bitches are intense and like power to you, because like you're literally kicking your own ass while kicking theirs while speaking.
Yeah. And that's, and we do the lights too at SALT. So like we have like a whole light wall in the back that is really just an added element for like that beat drop comes and like the lights get you in the vibe. So it's like not only are you riding and trying to have good form because you're like, they're watching me, plus I'm yelling, plus I'm like, it's a lot.
It's music, it's lights, it's vibes.
It's production.
It's also like,
it's a production. I'm putting on a show.
And yeah, it is. You're literally like, at Lifetime, they call us performers because you are. You're performing. You're up there and you are like, because truthfully, like we are the inspiration to people, not like we're inspiring you to finish this workout, go in however you felt, leave feeling more empowered and better. Like no one wants to go into a workout and be like, wow, that teacher said nothing and just like did the moves. You know, like I always tell a story. Like I always think of like when I'm teaching, it's like my stand-up stage and I think I'm fucking hilarious. You know how funny I am.
Yeah.
And I know.
I didn't actually know she was funny at all until like a couple weeks ago we were at work and she said something and I literally had to stop on a dime and like lean back and be like, that actually was funny.
No, like I think I'm hilarious. And like my students also, like you'll be listening, please comment how funny I am. Thank you. And
please reassure her business partner.
Please just give me a little bit. But I like always think of it as my stand-up stage. Like I'm literally always like, I'm up here and I'm performing and I'm trying to make this as most fun. Like when you're in bar and you're holding those tiny pulses or like tiny lifts, or you're in a first position and your legs are bent and they're shaking, you're like, I hate her, but I love her. And I need to make this like more fun for you so that like you're just like not thinking about it.
No, there's nothing worse than going to, I mean, it's hard for people. I would say, I don't even know that it's a 50-50 split in the room, that 50% of the people that come actually are like fitness junkies and love it. I think it's more like people are like, I know this is what's good for me and this is what I have to do and I have to do it. So the worst thing is to be, honestly, either of those people and then be in a room where the instructor feels like they don't want to be there. The music is like, you're like, this is a high intensity class and we're listening to like
Lana Del
Rey, which can be done. But like, you know, it's just, if it doesn't fit, it's not an enjoyable
100%
experience for anybody. So, and also learning that. But like I said, I think that you just, if you teach and you execute the way you like to do things, like you're going to enjoy doing it more. Like people do themed rides and shit all the time. Like it's never going to be like the country showdown 6 a.m. Taylor's Run. Like that's not for me.
Yeah, same. Agreed.
You know,
agreed.
So as long
I'm
as
like
you teach
EDM, let's go.
Yeah.
In yoga, like let's go. EDM, we'll play it. Maybe some Justin Bieber in there too. Like, I don't know. I like a fun themed ride, but it has to be like relatable to me.
Yeah, 100%. How often do you switch up playlists as like...
Okay, so playlists, I usually come up with like one new one a month, and then I'll add in like probably a second and third in the month, and then I can go back to my May, my June, my whatever, like previous months.
Yeah.
Though, when I find a song that I love, I want to put it
472 times.
Literally. But like what I find is people don't say anything. They're like, oh my God, can I have your playlist? Can I have your playlist? Can I have your playlist? So I'm like, you fucking love it too. You love that 172nd song. But I change up my workouts every class.
Okay, love that.
I'm like a psycho about that because especially some I don't, I will say. And if I'm teaching at different studios, obviously I bring the same one to different studios. But I love when they're surprised by what I'm doing. And then I play around with like, especially in bar, like I'll play around with the equipment and I'll be like, what can I do with this ball? What can I do with this band that like people haven't thought of yet?
Done. Yeah.
What about you?
You're a bar pioneer. No, well, I have to change my
music.
Yeah, every class. I mean, unless I'm teaching like a Thursday night and a Friday 6 a.m. and I know that crew's not the same. Have I done it before? Have I taught a class on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. and it's been a crazy week and then Friday 6 a.m. rolls around and I'm like hello, Michelle, you were here on Tuesday. You're riding the same ride. Sorry, girl. Like, it's still an ass kicker for sure. But
do you think that people actually remember?
I don't know, because I try to think about this. Like, do I remember?
But you're different. Yes. Okay, here's my thing. We're different. As a fitness instructor, I think we have a very unique point of view in fitness and going to other people's fitness class, where you can be like,
probably,
ooh, that was off the beat. Ooh, that song didn't really go with what we're doing. Or like, ooh, I went to her class last week and she taught the same thing. Like with yoga, I know sometimes I'll do this. I don't teach as much yoga anymore, but like you'll do the same sequence for 4 weeks so that like your students can like build up to whatever peak posture you're doing and they can start to like, quote unquote, like train those muscles to get there.
Yeah. Okay. I think it depends on the format, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I also think about this and I'm like, do my students really remember that last week we used that band, or like yesterday maybe yesterday they would, 2 days ago, a Monday to Thursday, would they really remember exactly what you did? Or would they remember that they walked out of the class feeling empowered? That's what I think is more important, is like, did you walk out feeling empowered? Did you walk out feeling like, yes, like I had a really fun class, good workout, whatever it is that like the intention of the instructor is. But I think walking out just feeling like, wow, I'm really happy I did that. That's what I think
for sure.
Like, that's what I think they think about more than like, oh, we did this last week.
Yeah.
You know?
I hate it. I think that also the reason for the switch up too all the time for me, because I mean, I have certain songs that I love to do certain things to, like,
totally.
Right? Like, I'm like, this is totally like a high speed out of the saddle, whatever, and like I love to use it. But I feel like I have the pressure to switch. Do you ever feel like someone walks out of your class and they're like, Jordan, great class, so happy to be here, and they leave and you're like, they fucking hated it.
You're like, they lied
I'm like,
to
they're
me.
never coming back. And they were like, oh my God, great class, thanks so much for having me. And they just like walk out and you're like, it was trauma for them.
Literally yesterday, I did this like push-up thing on our knees. And I was like, people don't do push-ups right. Like, let's just put this
public
out there.
Service announcement.
So I'm like, I like would come over and I'm like, hey, shift your like hips forward, like whatever. And they're like, it hurts my knees. And I'm like, you hate me. Yeah. I'm like, that's it. You hate that I made you do push-ups on your knees. Like, you could also tuck your toes, but like also let's get the format right first, or the form right first. But I'm like, she's definitely going to write a bad ClassPass review. Which, like, can we talk about ClassPass reviews?
Let's talk about ClassPass reviews.
So, like, I live on like the good positive ones. And then when I get a negative one, I'm like, I'm the worst.
I got some girl, I think she signed her name and I think it was a girl, but she had written something like, yeah, great class, but I'm just the type of girl that likes the instructor to get to know you, to each their own. And it was like in the beginning of like my teaching
like a
journey.
Personal dig. That's not even like beginning of the teaching class.
Okay, also full disclaimer, I'm terrible with names. I walk up and I meet somebody and they're like, hi, I'm Joe, and immediately I have forgotten. And it's not because I don't care.
Okay, you know
what? It might be because I don't care.
I
no,
will
it's not because
say,
I don't care.
Shout out to Core Power. Although people do not like that you have to be there before, checking in your own students helps so much.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, okay, that's Taylor. Great, awesome. I know that's Taylor. And then Taylor comes again and she says, I'm Taylor. And you're like, yes, that's Taylor. And then you start to know because you're checking her in. When you don't check in your own students, you're like, Bob's been coming every week, but I don't know Bob. Like, is that him?
The thing that this is so bad. People are going to like, if they ever come ride my ride, they're going to be like, she doesn't even know who I am. But like, sometimes I'm like, I just remember the names from the like WIEIAD login, like where you sign up for our classes. And then I'm like doing one of these things where like, I'm not sure what direction they're in. So I'm like, yes, so-and-so, you know what I mean?
You're
to like make it look like I'm a fraud. I'm
Judy's
a fraud.
over there, but I think that's Judy.
Crushing it, Judy.
Actually back there.
Judy always fucking crushes it. Without a
Judy,
doubt.
Jesse, and Bob.
We love squad. The fucking squad. Yeah, no. But she was like, to each their own though. Like, I would like an instructor that like to get to know me. And then someone like 2 weeks later wrote me a ClassPass review that all that it said was like, Taylor's class fucks. And I was like,
yeah, it does.
I'm all over the board.
Does.
They hate me. They love me. I'm not sure.
No, a good ClassPass review, like, whoo, you feel amazing. A bad ClassPass review,
you're like, I should retire.
You're like, fuck.
I should never teach again. I shouldn't even look at a fitness studio.
But also, like, have you left a bad ClassPass review for anybody?
No.
Okay, I have. I'm sorry. sorry.
She's like once a week at least.
No, I don't do it often. But I feel like there's like, you know, when you go
I mean, it would have to be treacherous, I think.
It was. Okay, it was.
Tell me about it.
It just was like, I'm not naming studios, I'm not naming names, whatever.
Yeah, no.
But it was like the studio was breaking down. Like legit, I was in yoga doing a class and the
crown molding just like fell off
the ceiling tile came down
amazing
on me. Like I was like, I now feel like I have like dust mites all over me. Like this is gross. Okay. And the teacher did not know what the fuck was going on. So I'm like, not only is the studio breaking down, but this instructor has zero idea what we're doing. Like right, left, up, down. There are days where I don't know that. Where I'm like, fuck, is it right? Is it left? Did we just do that? Like, yeah, everybody has their days. But I was like, this was such a horrible experience that I was like, I don't want to call out like this instructor sucks. But I was like, this is all just like a horrible mess. Please, for your own good, maybe don't come.
Yeah.
Like I didn't leave like a like horrible review.
But you were just like, not my fave time.
I was like, this is not good.
Also,
like,
the ceiling fell on me, so I'll take my membership for free.
Like, also, though, come on.
Yeah.
Take care of your studio space. Okay, but with that said, I feel like Chicago fitness instructors are an up-and-coming, like, group of people.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah,
like,
okay, I guess I can't speak to, like, any other cities.
Okay, but I feel like New York, like, girls have made it. LA girls have like made it. Like they've got their own shit.
Sure. Yeah,
I feel like in Chicago, we are like paving our own like beast of instructors. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there is some really amazing talent in Chicago.
And from like all varieties too. You know what I mean? It's not just
what's
like
with the hood.
It's a little chilly.
But I'm like, she just casually put on the hood. A little cold.
No, you could put it on.
You could put it on.
I'm trying to hide my male pattern balding.
We like it.
Yeah, in like all realms. You know, it's not just like yoga's popping here.
No, it's like dance.
Dance is a big. The trampoline girlies. Have you seen them?
Oh my! Have you done the class?
No.
We should do the class. We should. It's common language.
I'm sure it's humbling in a way.
I have seen those girls jump up, down on that trampoline, and I'm like, I want to do it, but I'm also scared. But I think we should do it. I think that would be really fun to talk about. Like how fitness instructors go
or have you seen the
into
sticks?
An experience.
You know the sticks when they're
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not sure what that's doing, but you guys look like you're having a great time.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
There's like the twerking classes and stuff like that. Pole dancing.
I would dance on a pole.
Okay, you pole dance. I'll do the trampoline and then like we'll talk about it. We'll just go around and we'll talk about it.
And then
how we humbly put ourselves through this.
Yeah. Get these girls something to fucking do.
Get them something to talk about.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is like it's also very community-ish here, which again, like I can't speak to any other city, so I don't really know how it goes.
We support each other.
Yeah.
Like I had a student come into my class and it was a man and he was like, I was like, oh, I'm going to be gone like for 2-3 weeks, whatever. So like you've got amazing subs, like please support them, whatever. And he's like, I'm not coming if you're not there. And I was like, no, I was like, really support them. Like, go support other fitness instructors. You can have your favorites. We all have favorites of who we love and who we go to. But, like, it's so fun to take other people's classes and see, like, wow, I've never done that before. Like, oh, I've never thought of that before. And I think that we do support each other. Like, we're like, yes, that's awesome. Like, that's really cool. David, who founded Faces of Fitness, founded it in Chicago. And it's like a destination. Great event. But it's like a destination where it's like he wants to make a fitness festival like from all avenues of the world that comes in and the community comes together for the love of wellness.
Yeah.
Like that's Chicago, I think.
And I think you start wellness with that kind of like fitness piece, and then the more you get to know these people, it opens up so many other avenues of like, here's other things that you can do. Like wellness isn't just, I mean, we could go on all day.
I know.
About what wellness actually is. But like you get these other avenues that you would have never otherwise known about or been like interested in pursuing at all.
But I think how creative a lot of these instructors are, where it's like, okay, you're now fusing like Pilates or bar into your yoga sculpt class. You're now fusing like yoga with like maybe some other powerful poses that you've learned in a different avenue of class, or like half cycling, half on the floor.
Yeah.
You've got these like boot camp style classes. Like, I don't know, but you've got some like really cool, or like the girls who are doing like fitness for gut health. Like what is gonna, I don't know. I don't have that expertise, but I'm like, great, that's super cool.
No, there's all kinds of like the whole cycle syncing thing. I know someone like brought this up to us. That's a whole, there's so many. And also that's just to go on and say that there's no textbook of what's best for fitness for everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? Like what might work for this person who has a nearly identical body composition to the person next to them, it might be too different.
And also, what do you like?
That's
I
what
always
I'm saying.
say, like,
don't do something public service announcement. Don't do something you don't like to do. That'll be the biggest thing that trips you up as far as consistency. If you're like, I absolutely hate Pilates, stop fucking going to Pilates.
I used to literally run my ass off. Like, I ran 5 marathons. 5 marathons I've run.
Kudos to you, bitch.
But not because I was like, yes, empowered. I actually wanted to like claim running again and run a marathon so that I could feel empowered. And then I got a bone bruise, and I was like, I think this is like the universe.
Bone bruise. She acts like it was a toe amputation.
No.
I got a bone bruise.
A bone bruise? Do you know how bad that shit hurts?
I'm sure. I know. Yeah, I'm not downplaying your
She is
pain.
literally... Slap me when I'm down, okay, bitch? But
I'm not downplaying your pain.
It's like it hurts. But I was like, this is the universe literally saying
enough is enough.
You're not meant to run.
Yeah, enough
but
is enough.
I was running solely for the purpose of like staying thin, or like hoping to lose weight, whatever it was. That is not going to support me longevity, long term. Literally, like broke down my body.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't even enjoy this. It was simply like, we can go into disordered eating in a whole other episode.
Yeah.
But it is like I was doing that. And then I found yoga, and I was like, wait, this is so cool to connect my mind to my breath. And then obviously cycling, whatever it was.
Whatever, yeah.
But you do, if you're going to do something that like you enjoy, and movement that you find that like you move your body to like feel like it makes you feel good and you walk out feeling empowered, then you're like, yes, I'm going to do this more.
Yeah. And that touches on the whole people thinking that they need to do 9,000 hours of cardio that they hate every week to.
Well, this also like keeping up. Like you got to keep up with all the other bitches that are doing it too.
Yeah, right. And you're like, I don't want to fucking keep up.
No.
Bitch, I can't. I'm tired. I can't keep up. I fucking can't keep up, you know? And like I've gone to something before and I've been like, this is the movement, this is what everyone's doing, and I'm just like, the girlies can have it because it's not.
Wait, I brought one of my close friends. I was like, come to this fitness influencers like event, like let's go. And she was like, what are we doing? And I was like, I don't know, it's like something. It was dance. She is not a dancer. She's like lifts weights, like that's it.
Yeah.
And she was, so I brought her in, and I was like, she's like, we're dancing in a heated room. She's like, absolutely not. And I was like, no, you're going to do this. She wanted to kill me after, but it was like hilarious. Like we obviously had so much fun, but that's something too where you're like, okay, we're gonna go do this, and she's gonna hate it, so she's not gonna associate, like you're not gonna associate like something like happy, you know what I mean, like by that, like you're not gonna associate like when I love moving my body. Right. If you don't have a good experience.
Right. And I think that's the premise. If you are doing, and I can't speak for everybody, but I've done it. I have like punished myself at a gym because I'm like, I have to look this way. I think at the lowest of lows, I would like get up in the morning and look in the mirror every day and be like, hate this, hate that. Like take it to the gym. What am I eating? Like that kind of, and we have to somehow stray away from like supporting that. Like I'm the type of instructor that's like, let me kick your ass if you're coming to my class, we're working. But I don't ever support this like rigorous regimen for people who are just like trying to get it together to begin with.
2 things to say. One, it's like that quote that's like, work out because you love your body, not because you hate it. Like I think that's a quote out there.
But how easy is it to work out because you hate your body?
It is the pattern of life. Like not life, but it's like the pattern of like, okay, I hate this about myself, so I'm going to do that. I hate this about myself. And it's like what I think is the internet, as much as we're like, it's not 1990 anymore. We're like, you know, magazines, we're all about like, she lost 5,000 pounds, or she's so skinny, or look at this body. How many times do I see people say, get your bikini body?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like
Yeah,
2 weeks
if
to
you
your
start
summer
now,
bod.
in 6 months, you'll be able to be on a beach.
What's the word that everybody's using now? Like snatched. You're going to get a snatched waist.
That's not where I thought you were going that. Yeah.
You know, like your waist is going to be snatched. It's like, what the fuck does snatched mean?
Yeah.
I think and also like, we're lengthening your body. How the fuck are you going to make me taller?
No, let's talk about something. Muscles are the length that they are. And like,
but I'm like, I understand like when I'm like there's a difference between like when you're like kicking your leg back and when I'm like lengthen your leg,
right,
reach, and then lift towards the sky.
We're gonna lengthen and lean the muscle, and I'm just like, that is just a gimmicky term that y'all made up to draw some hype to your.
But that's all of this is like, that's how you're sold in fitness. Is like,
yeah.
I think there's something really empowering about like, I don't have a perfect body. I mean, I do. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, I don't have a 6-pack. I've struggled.
But whose
with
definition of perfect body is 6-pack? You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like, when people look at like all of these fitness instructors and like, oh my God, like I want to look like her. Maybe someone does want to look like me. Like, thank you. That's very kind. But I don't think I have this like 6-pack, super lean, 0 body fat, like whatever.
No, yeah.
I think I'm a very like normal body. And I'm like, that to me is like a definition of like, I think I'm healthy. Like, besides my, inflammation that we talked about, I think I'm healthy. And I think like whatever your version of healthy is, as long as like you're like, quote unquote, like doctor healthy wise,
right.
I feel like that's like, you're moving your body. Like, that is a check mark. Amazing. I don't think it's attainable to be like, I want my bikini body. I want 2 weeks to look like Karen.
And you want to know what? Like, guess what? If that is what you want, if that is what brings you happiness, if that is while you're on your journey of fitness, it's like that's your own prerogative. But like, it needs to stop being this is what everybody should be.
But that's marketing.
Situation.
That's like
I
what
know,
they're
it's all
marketing
marketing.
It as. Like, I think about, okay, I have my online fitness platform and I'm like, I want to come up with a challenge, like a 2-week challenge. But I'm like, I don't want 2 weeks to a bikini bod. I don't want 2 weeks to
and
this.
We've got to stop with this bullshit. That's like, and I see it on TikTok all the time. I see it everywhere where it's like, if you start today, in 6 weeks, you can have. No, bitch, you can't.
Also,
no, bitch,
all
you
of the
can't.
fitness instructors, which we talked about in episode 1, like all the fitness instructors being like, and now eat this way.
Yeah. Oh my God. My biggest pet peeve, what I ate today.
Girl, I
ate today.
What I ate today.
A day in the life of what I ate
someone,
today. I don't give a fuck what you ate today.
I'm all for a recipe. Give me a recipe.
Love a recipe.
But like, I don't need to hear what the fuck you ate in a day.
No, and like your macros that you calculated and the whole fucking, like, I'm good. I'm good on the whole trend. I think is sick in the head.
It's toxic.
It is. And it's like, I don't need to, because you know that there is a group of people that's like running around to be like, I have to eat this exact thing and like structure it exactly the way that this person ate it. And like, now I'm eating this every day for 7 days.
And we talk about this a lot. Like, your body's different than my body. It's different than than them, than whatever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's like, it becomes this big comparison of like, okay, that's what they're eating, so I should eat that too.
Yeah, because that's what it becomes in your mind. Is if I do A, B, and C, I'll then look exactly like this.
And also like, okay, she measured out a cup of what she's eating and I would eat 5 cups. Like, great, awesome,
amazing. Yeah, great for you.
I think it just becomes
whatever the fuck you want. How about that?
Exactly. Like, stop looking at like what someone else is eating and thinking like, oh, I should eat that too.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, if you're just like, hey, give me like we were saying, like a quick high protein snack or whatever.
Yes.
Sure.
I love that.
Or just like, I'm like, I can't figure out what to eat this week because I'm eating the same shit all the time. Does anyone have any suggestions? Okay, great. Love that. But
do you know what people are doing now? What I eat today in a balanced, or as a balanced, non-restrictive, blah, 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 girly. I'm like, I don't really think that makes it better.
Yeah, no.
To share. Like, I don't actually think that makes it better to share.
Or I love that what I eat in a day for somebody weighing X amount of pounds who doesn't do a cut phase. What I eat in a day.
Shit.
I literally don't give a fuck. Also, your meal looks bland as shit. So good for
right.
you.
Like,
I don't
where's
know
like the cheese? I'm all about the cheese.
Yeah. Fuck.
No, I don't know. I think it's, I don't know. I think we just have a lot to say on this topic.
Yeah, no, we're so all over the place. It's not even funny.
But I think there is so much that should is like a horrible word, but like that can be and will be said on this topic too, of like social media, how it can be used for good, of the comparison thing, of like how people can utilize all of these things for good. I just think it's like taken out of the wrong context.
100%. And also like tell us, like, what do you like to see that's helpful?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me that it's what I eat in a day, because I will assault you verbally. But like,
we'll also just be like, no.
No thanks. But like, what is helpful?
Okay, also though, like I would be like curious to talk to someone who's like, I love seeing what I eat in a day, because like maybe it does inspire their meals for the day. I don't know. To me, I just find it so toxic.
Yeah, I guess if you want like meal inspiration. But
and those are the people that I find I get jealous. Like,
okay, but here's the thing: is it's not just what I eat in the day and here's my meal. It's like they show their abs and then they're like, what I eat in a day.
Yeah,
you know, like there's always like some fucking like, or they're like there's some glute like shot or something, and it's like what I eat in a day. Like,
do you have to be naked? Are you cooking naked? Like, no.
It's just giving the premise that I eat this and this is how I look, so hop on.
So you eat this and this is how you look. Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, I feel like it's trashy. Just, and I also, that stems back to like a lot of these people have zero, like, there is zero reason they should be telling you what they eat in a day. Like, what are their credentials that they now can tell you, like, this is how you should eat in a day?
Yeah.
I always think about that because I'm like,
it's an interesting movement.
Like a salad, where's your protein? You're also pouring, like, ranch dressing on it, which, like, sometimes I love ranch dressing, but, like, you're not really getting nutrients there.
Well, you know what other trend, now that just we're talking about it, the fits my macros trend?
What's that? Oh, I don't know anything about macros, so because I was like, that will be so disordered eating triggering for me, so I'm not even going down that rabbit
Just like, okay, so whatever, you calculate your macros. Some people like to eat for macros, blah, 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 whatever, that's fine. But like the whole thing that's like, I can eat all this like not necessarily healthy food. It's filled with saturated fats and all this other stuff, but it fits like my macro numbers, so like that counts.
Oh.
Like I hate the like what fits in my macros today, and then it's like they're doing the demo of what they're making, and I'm just like, if we're trying to promote like a healthy lifestyle for somebody, like this is we're not doing it. Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot on social media.
There's a lot. I mean, we could go on and
I mean, I think this episode went like there and there and up and down and all around.
Yeah, no, we've been to like 14 different
But that's passion.
Planets today. Yeah.
That comes from like and stems from literally like our diehard
because you
passion.
Just start talking about something that you have an opinion on, and then it streams into like the next thing. I
also think it's a learning curve for us too, to be like, we're all around, but that also,
or
like,
we won't.
Yeah.
Do you like us to be all over the place?
And
because it's my specialty.
Did we hit on something? I think as we like, especially as we just like dive into this, like, did we hit on something that are like, oh, that was really interesting?
Talk about more. Yeah.
Can you dive into it more? Yeah. Obviously, we have like set things that we know we want to talk about, but there's also like leaning into an audience of what you want to hear too. So I think that also is good to just like hear from you. What do you want to hear from us? Yeah, I guess. What are you looking forward to this week?
Oh my God, I don't even know. Honestly, Bills game. Duh.
Yeah, go sports.
It's the highlight of my life. That's really all I have
every
to say
week.
About my life
I just look forward to sports.
Yeah, just the NFL, really. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. It's like my favorite thing. Yeah, that and what else? I don't even know what I have going on, honestly.
I know, me either.
I'm such a calendar girly now. Like, if it's not in my fucking calendar, it's not getting done. I'm not showing
I'm
up.
getting into time blocking.
The
like,
fuck is time
blocking?
Okay,
it's like figuring out your day. And so, like, how can you be most efficient with your time during the day so you can, like, block off, like, trying to figure out, especially for work, like, my meetings. And then, like, with teaching, like, how do I block off my day for, like, myself, my meetings for work, things for like the pod and things for like my personal, like all of that, so that it can
I love that. My inner Gemini could never.
Yeah. my inner
Gemini is like, but what if at this hour we need to do this?
Yeah, that stems from me just like planning.
Yeah, well, to each their own.
I guess that's true. Opposites attract, right?
They sure do, baby. All right, well, pleasure hanging with you.
Always, every week.
Tuesdays.
Everybody let us know what's going on, what you want to see, what you want to hear from us. And remember, when your shit goes wild, girl,
everything's fine.
Everything's fine.